Hi guys, it's me, your girl Chris. This is episode 159 of Shenanigans with Friends. Um, being dropped on regular times, but definitely I feel like a pop-up. At this point, I feel like I can record when I catch the vibe, right? So I've caught a vibe today, and so we are going to record. This is episode 159. I have a little bit of time before work, so I want to get into it. That's why also if you're watching this on YouTube, that's why I have like extra makeup on. I feel like I don't usually come to you guys this way. But anyway, it's because I'm about to go to work. Anyway, okay, so let's just get started. Because like I said, small time frame. But I'm glad to be here. I hope you guys are too. And let's get started. All right, so my first story I want to bring up, it's, oh God. I want Tyrese to stop being embarrassed on the internet. Like, if it's not him embarrassing himself, now it's him and his 27-year-old girlfriend on IG and him getting visibly upset at the things that she's saying. I don't know how we got to where we were. I just got a clip sent to me, so I watched it. But she basically was saying that he's got an okay personality and he was kind of old, and how she originally didn't like him initially because he would talk down about IG models. Now, I don't know exactly what he was saying about IG models, but it's interesting because I feel like I don't want to like miscategorize, but like, don't all his bitches be on Instagram? Anyway, it doesn't matter. So, because I think she's an Instagram model. Anyway, so she actually said that she was more interested in Paul Walker. And she said her type isn't white, but she was just more interested in Paul. And then when she thought about Tyrese, she was like, he's kind of old, but I like his smile. And I guess that's how their relationship started. But Tyrese was visibly upset. At one point he kept saying, like, get your hands off of me. Like, and then he like pushed her hands off and shit like that. And then she said that she never said that she would date Paul Walker, but that's just that he was cuter and he was more of her type. And she says, remember, I wasn't your type either, so relax. And I'm assuming that's because he was talking about IG models, but I don't really know. I don't know. I don't know anything about his other girls. I just know they make him cry on the internet. And yeah, so he was, but I tell you, he was like visibly like perturbed. Like he was visibly perturbed with her. Okay. So I don't know if we'll see them on IG Live again. I'm not looking for it, so I'm sure you're not either. Okay, let's move on. Speaking of people that need to, speaking of, I guess, maybe limiting your words, right? And the things that you say to people. Keanu Reeves, because you guys all know John Wick 4 is out, chapter 4, excuse me. And he only says, apparently he only says 380 words in the whole movie. And now if you're like, I don't know how many words that is, I actually wish that I would have started a word counter so that I could have figured it out. But I feel like I've already said more than 380 words just in this 3.5 minutes that we've been here. But the killer part is that this might be the longest one. It's a little over 3 hours, I think. But apparently this is like a thing, and I haven't seen chapter 3 yet, so don't like send me hate mail or anything. But John Wick is not really a man of a lot of words anyway. So it's not super, it's not like, like super different from all the other chapters, but it's just interesting. In the very first movie, he did 484 words. It was 101 minutes, and now this one at 169 minutes, he's only saying 380 words. And then you got to think, like, he about to give you lots of catchphrases, lots of one-liners, things that you'll be able to take and use into your everyday life. Get them, like some shit like that. Like, okay, no, real story, y'all. John Wick 1, right? It was like somebody killed his fucking wife and killed his dog, or his dog died, No, his wife died, and then his fucking wife sent like a post-mortem fucking gift, which was a dog, and somebody damn stole his car and killed his dog, and he was after them. But like, didn't he get that nigga in the first one, or am I misunderstanding or misremembering what the fuck I watched? So I guess my real question is, what the fuck is he doing, and what is his problem in chapter 4? I'm not. Will I watch it? Probably. I gotta watch the third one first, though. But I just want to know what the beef is still. That's all. Like, I'm just concerned that he has some. I thought everything was resolved, is the point that I'm making. But clearly something else happened. So, okay. Anyway, let's move on. Speaking of murderous men, right? That was a good, right? The Murdaughs, y'all. A lot of things are happening with them. First of all, if you guys don't know, Alex Murdaugh has been sentenced to 2 life sentences for killing his wife and his son. His son, who killed somebody else a couple summers ago. You can look it up if you want to, if you have no idea what I'm talking about. And also now Buster, his other son, is also possibly being investigated now. Not possibly. They have reopened an investigation of a murdered gay young man in that area. And a lot of people for years and years and years have been saying that Buster Murdaugh has something to do with it. So I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb because I hate the word allegedly, and you can't sue me because I don't have anything for you to take. You're way richer than me, Buster. But he's being investigated for this murder, possibly. So we'll see what happens. But on top of that, the Moselle property, the property that the 2 murders of Alex's wife and son occurred, a lot of the possessions have popped up on eBay, and people are paying absorbent amounts of money. Things like a crossbow going for $21,000, a camouflage gun case going for $4,999 at the opening bid. It's fucking crazy. And many of these items, like I said, have appeared up on eBay very recently. I don't know who exactly the seller is. It is very interesting. It could be, are we selling things off of the property to get money for Buster's defense? Because he might be up for trial as well very soon. I don't know, though. I don't know. But let me see what else. They have also, let's see, $125 for some like fucking like galoshes in the house. They have this horrid fucking leather couch that sold for $14,000. People are even buying a lot of their things that have like their monogram on it and like their initials on it. Also Maggie's bike and all of her like mugs and Starbucks tumblers, people are buying anything with the Murdaugh's initials. Like I said, apparently one of the bigger purchasers is planning on starting a local museum. So I guess some of that stuff will be important. Like, it's not like any of that stuff are like things that were used in the murder or anything like that. So I'm not really sure what kind of museum she's going to have. But okay. Let me see. They have another property that actually sold that same day for $3.9 million to I guess it looks like 2 men, so I don't know what they're gonna do with it. But it says that Buster will get $530,000 and the remainder of the proceeds will be divvied up among creditors. So why does Buster need $530,000? I wonder. That's very interesting. So we will have to stick around to find out. But I am listen. When I tell you, I feel very confident. Just like I felt very confident that Alex did what the fuck he did. I feel very confident that Buster killed that boy. And niggas are gonna have to find out. And I don't know. I don't know. He's gonna need a lot more than $500,000 for that defense if it really comes to light. So Anyway, let's move on. Speaking of severed ties, right? Right? Okay. Beyonce has taken her Ivy Park line away from Adidas. They say it's lackluster sales. She says it's creative differences. Um, but basically, they're no longer working together on her Ivy Park athleisure brand. They say that the split was mutual, with creative differences cited as the reason behind the decision. Beyonce says she's ready to reclaim her brand, and I don't know if that means like she's not going to partner up with another brand for distribution and maybe just do it out of Parkland, or is Parkland like, I thought it was just like, I don't know. I'm sure it's everything. So this is whatever the fuck she wants it to be. But they say that poor sales are behind the termination of the relationship of Ivy Park and Adidas. I'm not really sure. But I guess Adidas has also come out and saying that they had the same kind of issue with Kanye West's Yeezy brand. I don't really know, but you know what I didn't know is I didn't know that Ivy Park had originally launched with Topshop. I didn't know that. That was something that I learned reading this, but yeah, I don't know. Anyway, Renaissance tour, whatever. Like she could, I don't know. I'm thinking like, I feel like Parkland is just like the major umbrella because they do like music and like production and all stuff like that. I don't see why she couldn't just find somewhere to fucking have this shit created on her own and cut out the middleman. I don't know. Anyway, let's move on. Listen, you guys have seen Backstreet Boys on these streets. And before I get into what the whole reason I'm bringing them up, I just want to like make a PSA to Justin Timberlake. Bro, I don't know what the fuck kind of bullshit you're pulling. I don't know if you're on some Omarion shit. I really don't know what's happening with you. But let me be very clear. I don't appreciate that Backstreet Boys are out in these streets and on these commercials, and we're not. Like, and I'm saying weird because I'm a part of NSYNC in my soul. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really know what the fuck you got going on or like what the big deal is, but don't y'all want to be on a fucking detergent commercial? Like, oh God, all I'm saying is y'all are the better group and anybody can fight me. And listen, I was an avid listener of both of them, so I will literally go tit for tat with you about this. But the truth is that NSYNC is superior and always was. And I was a blind teenager is what I'm trying to say to you. Anyway, the reason I bring this up is because if Backstreet Boys weren't in the fucking news, we probably wouldn't even know about this information. But AJ and his wife are temporarily separating to build a stronger future, is what we're being told. They married in 2011. They have 2 daughters. And they are now taking some time apart. He is 45 years old. Like, it really didn't dawn on me, like, how much older these niggas were than us. But I mean, like, anyway. Okay, and she's 41. They are separating after 11 years of marriage, but they do plan to reunite in the future. That's interesting. So, like, you're making a split and to then being like, we'll come back and revisit this in a year, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wonder what that entails. Like, if there's a list of things that need to be accomplished, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like a list of things that need to be done in order for us to come back together and be married again. But basically, he said marriage is hard. Like, oh, duh, nigga. And they have decided so they've decided to temporarily work on themselves. So there has to be like a time frame. So like, we'll work on ourselves and we'll come back in like 2 years or whatever. But like, how does working on yourself, I don't know. I'm trying to think, like, if working, you can work on yourself, right? But like, let's say you're trying to work on yourself for like 2 years. Like, you're just gonna work on yourself for 2 years and like not go have a drink with somebody, or like you're just gonna ignore everybody that's probably gonna try to talk to you. And I'm not saying that like you need that, but I just feel like what's the time frame? Because if the time frame is like over like 6 months, then we probably just need to like break up. Like, because I don't really know what's happening. And like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really know how to explain it, but it's interesting when people decide to take breaks in relationships, and even more when we're talking about fucking marriages. Like, I just don't believe in that shit. Like, I don't believe in that. So it's like we're either together or we're not. And so if you say we're taking a break, I'm going to do all the things that I would be doing as if I wasn't with somebody. Like, because what the fuck is a break? Like, breaks are for work. Like, this should not be a job. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just real crazy for me. So I don't really like that, but if it works for you, go for it. But I think that you have to be like super realistic about the time frames that you're talking about. And they have left us in the dark about that. I don't, but honestly, it's not our business. What am I talking about? But I just wonder what the time frame is. Like, I really want to know what the time frame is, like, real bad. Like, anyway, I guess we can move on. Let's talk about, oh my God. This is probably the story of the episode. How many times did it take you guys to take the written test and the driver test, right? Like, how many times did it take you? Now, I got my permit and everything before I left from Chicago. So when I came here, I had a permit, and I just wanted to trade it in to get my license. Because I was young, they made me do everything else twice. So I did technically take a written test for driving twice. My grandmother also was super paranoid. She was like definitely having a white man pick me up on Saturdays so that I could drive around the city with him. I know that sounds weird, but he was just a driver instructor. But yeah, so did all that and then took the driving test one time, passed it because obviously, and that was it. I feel like I've heard of people. I've been around people. I know people that have taken the written test like 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, and that is tragic. But the key though is like to never give up, right? To learn from those mistakes and to continue to try, right? Well, there is a woman. Her name is Cha Sassoon. Her I don't want to be mean, but like, girl, give me this license. It took her 960 tries. She spent $1,000 and it took 960 tries for her to get her driver's license. She is from South Korea and she is finally cruising, y'all, after she finally passed her written driver's test. How many motherfucking questions could there be on this driving test? Are they changing the driver test every time? I have lots and lots of questions, and I unfortunately don't think I can get to all of them because this makes no fucking sense. She's 69 years old. She aced the exam on her 961st try. Nigga, it's not even like 50 questions on that motherfucker. Y'all let somebody take. There has to be a limit, right? So like after a certain amount of times, you're obviously not gonna get this, and you could be a possible danger to society. Like, it's like 25 questions. How many questions is on the fucking driver test? I really need somebody to find out for me. I don't fucking know. Anyway. 961st try, okay? She has gotten her driver's license and she is in these South Korean streets. I would be very careful if I were you and if you are in South Korea. Apparently this was very inspiring to people that have had a hard time. But like, nigga, I need to see the South Korean fucking driving test. What is on there that you could not figure out after like the 10th try? Like, I can't be like, what are we talking about right now? Anyway, girl, good. I'm proud of you. Okay, I am very proud of you, Cha Sasun, and I'm very glad that you got your driver's license. I'm even more excited that I don't have to drive near you because, girl. Anyway, all right. Anyway, let's move on. Actually, you know what? I want to do Am I the Asshole really quick. Because I read one and I thought it was interesting and I kind of want to hear your take on it. So here we go. I'm going to read it. Occasionally when my four children go to bed, I'll order myself a little something from Uber Eats or DoorDash after a hard day so I don't have to share with the kiddos. Usually, since I'm always the one to wake up, I'll put the packing besides the indoor trash can and take it out the outdoor trash can in the morning. My children ended up waking up first that morning and seeing the takeout food packaging and ended up waking me up, asked me what I ate and if they could have some. I told them there was none left and I ate it all last night. I thought that would be the end of it, but after I dropped them off at their dad's for the week, my children stay at their dad's house 1 week out of the month rather than just doing weekends. My children's father ended up spamming my phone with text messages, accusing me of misappropriating my children's funds he sends every month. My child's father gives me $100 for each child a month, which is $400 a month. When it comes to it isn't much, but I'm fine with it because he usually makes it up with buying the children what they need when an issue arises. FYI, nothing is court ordered. I have a job as a daycare worker and use my own money I make myself to buy Uber Eats and DoorDash food. He also accused me of being a bad mother because I ordered food for just myself without thinking of my children who were with me at the time, and that I should have just waited until they were with him for the night. So, okay. I had a really, really bad day that day and just wanted to do something to cheer myself up, and sometimes food does the trick for me. If I were to order something for everyone, it would have cost a lot of money, and that I wasn't interested in spending. And if I were to share, by the time my food got back to me, it would have just been the food wrapper. So, do you guys think I'm the asshole? That's what she asked. And I feel like the answer is very simple. I definitely don't think that she's the asshole, mostly because fucking kids are greedy. Like, they literally fucking will eat everything if they can. If you allow them to eat everything, they will fucking eat everything. And I don't think there's anything wrong with after your children are asleep to do, like, to whatever. Like, there's a whole fucking Oreos commercial about niggas waiting till their kids sleep and eating a whole pack of Oreos on, like, with them by themselves. Whatever. Like, now she says that she's using her own money. She does have a job. I have to assume that that's the truth. Now, if she's using the kids' money, that's hella foul, obviously, but it doesn't seem like that's the case. And honestly, here's my question for the children. Why are you guys going in trash? Like, let's talk about that. Anyway, but I don't really think she's an asshole, because I think sometimes parents need things to themselves. And if that parent feels like it's food that she needs to herself, that's what she needs to herself. I'm positive that she's not fucking starving the children at home. And I'm sure that they had a wonderful meal that they loved and wanted more of at the time of dinner. So I don't think she's an asshole, but I'm really interested to find out what you guys think. So let me know what you guys think. Is she the asshole? All right, let's move on. I got a couple of more stories, guys. Okay, so PSA announcement. Niggas always fuck shit up. Would you like to hear more about what I mean? Press 1 for yes, 2 for no. No. Okay, so I don't know if you guys follow TSA on Instagram. I do, because it's fucking hilarious. The things that people try to get on airplanes, pretend like they didn't know that you couldn't take on airplanes and things like that are incredible. One of the things that I see a lot are people opening up peanut butter jars and stuffing stuff in the middle of the peanut butter. TSA has caught on and has now declared that peanut butter is now going to be considered a liquid. So if you don't know what that means you cannot bring a whole fucking jar of peanut butter on your next plane ride. It has to, just like all of our liquids, it has to be in a 3.4 ounce or less container. And so basically you guys have ruined it by smuggling drugs and things into your luggage and stuff. Okay, anyway, so I don't know how you guys are going to get peanut butter in quart-sized bags. I'm not even sure why y'all are traveling with peanut butter when peanut butter is generally available wherever the fuck you're about to go. Anyway, so they said that like they're suggesting ways to like travel with it, and I think it's very stupid. I know they do have like the Jiffy, like the is it Jiffy or Jif? Mom's like, you choose Jif. Jiffy is like cornbread. Okay. Anyway, so I think Jif has like to go things, which should be fine. But yeah, the jig is up, motherfuckers, and they know that you guys are trying to smuggle drugs and peanut butter. So please stop doing that. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so I love a good fucking Korean thriller, Korean drama, Chinese thriller, Chinese drama. But what happens when a child starts to replicate the things they see on TV? And a lot of people would be like, oh, you can't really blame TV or music on people's behaviors and stuff like that. And for the most part, I totally believe it. Until a kid does something like throw a little boy into a well and then blame it on a TV show. Okay, so basically what happened is in a province in southwest China, a 7-year-old girl threw a 4-year-old boy into a well, basically saying that she was doing what she saw on like a Chinese TV drama. The boy was rescued after only 10 minutes by people who heard him screaming. I don't know how far or deep the well was, but they said it was almost halfway filled with water. And he was a 4-year-old boy, so that probably would have been a little bit high. They do have a surveillance camera record that shows that the girl and the boy were playing around 2 wells in their village, and the girl suddenly lifted the boy up and dropped him into one. They saw that the boy grabbed the well's edge, and she did the most diabolical thing ever. It was giving Tweety Bird, where she pried his fingers away and let him fall into the well. She walked around the well, I guess, for a second, and then she tried to bounce. A couple minutes later, the boy's grandmother came to look for him and found the boy in the well after hearing his voice. They tied a rope around his waist, allowing him to climb out to be rescued. Yeah, just a fucking crazy. He had a mild cold and cough from the water, but everything's okay. I don't even really know what you do with somebody like that. But the boy was, a few days later, was considered fine, and they have basically sent a statement out to the public to saying, hey, don't be trying to do what you see on videos. That shit is really crazy, and don't you guys be crazy. The little girl will not be charged with anything, and the family will not. They don't know if the family will face any charges, but that would be very interesting. I don't even know what the fuck I would have done if like Kaylin would have threw Kailani down a fucking well or some shit. Like, what the fuck kind of shit is that? And what movie were you watching? Was it The Ring? Like, that's literally what I thought about when I saw this. It was The fucking Ring. Okay. Well, guys, that is the episode. I feel like it went by really, really fast, but that's okay. I'm glad that you guys stopped by to hang out with me. Let's get into the one up for the week real quick. And this is probably more for like me. I feel like in this like season of like me growing and trying to learn and understand myself and work through like issues that I have, I've realized that these one up for the weeks are probably going to be for me. So if you can take something from them, then awesome. And if not, that's okay too. Maybe you'll hear something that you can relate or relay, I should say, to somebody else. But my one up for the week is pretty simple. Just don't put too much pressure on yourself. Just make a plan to be a better you than you were yesterday, and I feel like that's good enough. And until you're ready for bigger things, right? So, okay. All right, guys. Thanks for catching this vibe with me. This is episode 159, and I'll see you guys the next time. All right.